first 4 weeks, but Brian Hanchett will be kind of running the class and working out with you. So I wanted to kind of give you a little brief intro. Station number 1, leg press. So the biggest thing with leg press is that it's not on 300 pounds, is that your alignment with your knees and your feet. So you don't want your feet all the way down here so your knees are over your toes, because that's really bad for your patella tendon. So you want to make sure that you could see your toes and your knees are not jetted over them. Push your low back into this, which is really important. And then you're just pushing away from the platform, having your legs straight but not necessarily locked out, and then back again. Okay? And then you would just go for 45 seconds. That's station number 1. If you have not been doing strength training, always just do like the first 3 pins, and then you can make it harder as it goes on. Number 2 is the seated row right over here. All right, so with your seated row, you want to have your hands, if you remember, on top, and you want to be able to barely touch the handles. So I need to move this to probably about a 4 or so. Then I'm going to grab onto the handles. Okay, like this. Have my hands on top. I'm squeezing the shoulder blades, not having my shoulders up here, keeping my shoulders down. Right, nice and controlled. Always like in for 2 seconds, 1 banana, 2 banana, and then out again. Okay, that's getting your knee back. Number 3 is over here at the multi-hip machine. We're doing inner thigh. So it should already be right straight down in the middle. And you are just going to cross the body about 10 times. You should feel it in that inner thigh, and then all you have to do is switch, and you do the other thigh. Okay? And that's our inner thigh. That's number 4. We're going to go over here to chest press. So on this chest press machine, you want to make sure that you use this right here, and this is going to push this away from you, so you're not trying to like get your arms back like so. So use your foot only once, put your hands on that horizontal position, push it out, and then bring your foot back in. Okay, I'm squeezing my shoulder blades, and then all I'm doing is bending back my elbows and pushing straight out. If that hurts your shoulders, do a vertical grip and see if that feels a little bit better. Okay, when you're done, you put your foot back on there, it will take it, and you take your hands away. Okay, that's number 4. Number 5 is the straight bar bicep curl. So we'll come over here. All right, so this is a preacher curl. So you are basically elbows close to the body. You're just bringing those arms up and back down again. Nice and controlled. We're trying not to swing. Ooh, then that's squeaky. Okay, so try to have good alignment with that. Next one is the tricep pull down. So we're gonna hold on to the rope, elbows close to the body. We're bending, squeezing. So really squeeze, have your hands on either side of the thigh, and then come back up again. Squeeze and come right back up. Okay, so that is number 6. And I'll have all these labeled, of course. Number 7 is the TRX. So the lower I am to the ground, the harder it is. So if I'm pretty much upright and I am pulling, it's not as hard as if I start to walk myself closer to the ground. So you can determine how hard you want it to be, all right? Next one is the Bosu step up. So you're over here and you're basically stepping it up right foot, stepping it up left foot. It's just to get your heart rate up, right? The next one, you are going to be doing rotation. So once again, not super heavy on this. Keep it close to the body. Rotate one way, rotate the other way. If you want to have your arms straighter, you could. Okay. Arms out, and you could do arms straighter this way as well. Really make sure you're pulling in with your belly to help support that low back as we're getting that rotation. Next one is round overhead with the plate. We'll start with a 10-pounder and then we'll work our way up. You're basically touching the ground with the plate, keeping it close to the body, and then an overhead press. And again, if the overhead press does not feel good on the shoulders, just touch the ground. Touch the ground. Okay? Next one's a little trickier, so come on over. This is for your rear deltoid. A lot of times people want to use their traps, and that can lead to tension headaches. So we want to make sure we're trying to feel it in that back part of the shoulder. So your elbows are in a straight line with the shoulders, and we're lifting it up towards the ceiling. Up towards the ceiling. Try not to go like this, okay? Keep the shoulders down. All right. Okay, next one is gonna be a balanced front raise. So, you don't have to lift a lot of weight. You're gonna try to balance on one leg. Palms can either be facing one another or they can be facing down. And maybe you do 6 on one leg and maybe 6 on the other. Whatever you can do in 45 seconds, but we're working on balance and front part of the shoulder, okay? After that, I believe we have the ladder, just a sec. So I will have set up a ladder, and you're just gonna be going through the ladder fast or slow as you want. After that, we're gonna come over here, you'll see a band. We're gonna do an incline press, which gets the pec minor. So it's right behind you, underneath the armpits, pushing it up towards the ceiling. If your shoulder doesn't like that, try just pushing out in front of you. Right? After that, we have bird dog. So we'll be here on the platform, we'll have a mat there. We're gonna be onto our hands and our knees. Shoulders are stacked over the hips, shoulders stacked over the wrist, hips stacked over the knees. I'm gonna tuck my tailbone under, and then opposite arm, opposite leg, hold for about 3 seconds, and switch. And I'm really lifting up with those abs as I do that. Okay? The next station over will be on a mat, and that will either be a high plank here and hold, or a low plank. Once again, keeping those hips lifted, and I'm actually kind of rounding my upper back a little bit. Abs drawn in, bottom squeezed. Almost done. 3 more, 4 more. All right, this is wrist curls, and this is just to help prevent any sort of carpal tunnel or whatnot. Have your whole forearm on this pad, and maybe I go 10 this way, keeping my grip closed, and then I flip them over, and I do 10 the other way. Okay? After that, we'll come on over here. You can either choose to do back extension on this machine, or for those of you who've done this before, you know there's also the back extension behind it as well. And it should be kind of on your mid-back, and you just lean back and then come forward. Lean back and come forward, all right? You know, this is just kind of a good, like, not super functional exercise, but it does get your lower back. This next one is your abdominals. Once again, you can use this one, or for some of you who've been in class before, you've seen that one as well. You'll just go ahead and put those shoulders in, grab on, and really try to pull in with those abs as you're crunching, okay? It's not an arm movement, it's a whole body ab movement. And then our last one is the rope pull, which is over here. The higher the number, the more resistance. So if I put it at maybe a 3, it's gonna be easier than a 7. I can stand or I can stay seated, and grip strength and just cardio, right? Or I can be here. All right, and that is it. And then I'd go back to number 1 if I didn't start there. Have fun, see you in 4 weeks.